Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this pop-up card. Now if you feel this is a little bit like deja vu, it's because a couple of weeks ago we made a card where we used this, and it was this one with the corner pop-up. This card here. This is basically the same, because when you opened this one up you had the pop-up there. Okay, so what I'm doing with this one, I'm not going to have that corner missing. I'm having another card over it to cover that up. Okay, it really is very straightforward, except the other difference is this here is a lot smaller than the one we did on this card. Okay, so that comes down just under halfway, and this one comes down about 2/3 of the way, but otherwise it's more or less the same as that one. So I'm going to give you the cardstock pieces that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be giving you the inches if you use A4 cardstock. I will put the measurements in the box below the video. Also with those measurements I will give you the metric measurements, and I will work out what the North American inches need to be to fit into your size envelopes. The other thing I want to explain is I'm using 3 different designs of designer series paper here, and my colour scheme is all going to be Coastal Cabana and Pool Party. So one of them I'm using is this, which is coming from a pack that's going to be on offer as from Tuesday the 2nd of March. We've got a special promotion of a butterfly stamp set, butterfly dies, the designer series paper, and also 2 sheets there which are natural birch colour and texture. I haven't bought those, I don't really know what they're like, but I do have these 3. These 2 here, the dies and the stamps, are pre-release, and they will be in the new catalogue that goes live, the annual catalogue that goes live at the beginning of May, but this is only available, and this one, until the beginning of May. So this is all the sets I'm using, but I've only got this sheet that goes with my colour scheme. So the other 2 sheets I have taken from our 6x6 designer series paper packs, and every year the designs on these change, and this was the first year that the new 6x6 packs came out. This I think was the 2nd year. I don't get through all the packs in a year, so I carry on using them. So whatever the design is that you have, it's the colour that counts really. Okay, if you've got some Christmas paper left over, there was I can't think what it was called, but it was something about snowflakes or something that had a nice design that would have gone well with this. So let me tell you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. First of all, a Coastal Cabana card base which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches. And then a Pool Party card base which measures 8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, scored by at 4 inches. And then you need a piece of Whisper White, which is going to go on the front of the Coastal Cabana, and that measures 5 1/2 inches by 3 7/8 inches. Then I'm going to put a piece of this designer series paper on top, which is in Pool Party, and this measures 5 3/8 by 3 3/4 inches. Then you will need a scrap for sentiment, which is that piece there. And then you need a scrap, no, not a scrap, you need a piece of Coastal Cabana that measures 1 1/8 inches by 2 1/2 inches, which is to layer underneath the sentiment. Then you need a die cut from the stitched rectangle dies. This was done with die number 4. If you don't have this die, you need a piece of Whisper White cardstock which measures 3 5/8 inches by 2 1/4 inches, and you need a piece of Coastal Cabana that this is going to be layered on, which measures 2 3/8 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And then you will need, let's move those ones over, inside the, not that one, inside this one, the smaller card, you need 2 pieces of designer series paper. You can use the same if you like, and these both measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. You need a piece of Whisper White that you're going to use to make a template, and that needs to be 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. You need scraps to stamp your butterflies on, and because it's a big stamp you do need a large piece. I've brought some wax paper with me because the die that I'm going to be using for my sentiment is getting a little bit sticky, and as I'm pulling it off it's damaging the stitched bits on it. So every now and again I use my wax paper to make that stop doing that. Right, so first of all I'm going to do my stamping. It's going to be the butterflies and the sentiment. Now I have already made all of my butterflies and I've coloured them all. It did take quite some time. These are what I've done. Okay, so I'll do one with you. I stamped them, die cut them, stamped them, coloured them and then die cut them. So I will show you that. So if I bring this over first, the Happy Birthday is from a Celebration stamp set. Celebration actually ends today, 28th February 2021. So if you're after any of the gifts that are available for a qualifying order, do get your order in by the end of the day. Anyway, this is from oh, is that what I was looking for? Oh dear, oh dear, I was looking for that butterfly. I wanted to put him in there. I wanted the 2 yellow ones, but oh well, never mind. So this is from Approaching Perfection or something, but as I say, it's in the it's a gift for the celebration, and today will be the last day that you'll be able to get it. So I'm going to stamp this on here. I did it in black, but I wished I'd done it in jade green or something. So this one I'm going to do in Bermuda Bay. Did I say this colour was Coastal Cabana? This should be Bermuda Bay. If I've said Coastal Cabana anywhere, forget that. It's Bermuda Bay. And this is Bermuda Bay. I really should sit and write out 100 times Bermuda Bay, because I know I've made that mistake before. This just stamps so beautifully. Good solid stamp there. I'll put that over there and move this somewhere to dry. Put that there. And this is my stamp. Now with this stamp, an American demonstrator has suggested that we might like to buy 2 lots of the stamp sets, so that the second set we can actually cut all these apart and use them as individual stamps, which I think is an absolutely brilliant idea. And as soon as it's 2nd of March, I'm going to order myself another one. Although demonstrators can pre-order, we can only pre-order 1 of things like this, which is good because it does mean they're not going to go on low inventory before customers can get them. So I'm going to be using black memento ink. Now let me see if I can turn this sideways. There we go. Let me see how much you can see there. Yep, that's pretty good. Should I move it? That's even better. Right, okay. This is a very, very detailed stamp, which means when it comes to doing any shading, if you don't want to do any, you don't have to. I did because I wanted to get some mottled colour in to go with my, this is my scrap bit, I wanted them to go with that sort of colour, so I needed to mix my blends, which I did, but I only used 2 colours and only used 1 pen of each. Let's see what's that's done. There we go. Do I want that any darker? I think this side could be. I think that's okay. I'm not going to try and get that any darker. Let's move this off. This is just a half a sheet of our A4 paper. So what I do now is I cut that off and that, so that I don't waste that. But as this is a video, I'm not going to spend time doing that. Move that there. Close this one. So bring this one over. Keep that one handy because that needs to be die cut as well. Now I'm only going to colour one of these to show you what I do. Now the 2 colours I've used, here they are. This is Dark Pool Party and this one is Light Bermuda Bay. Okay, Bermuda Bay, Bermuda Bay. So first of all I go over with my Pool Party. So which one shall we do? I think this one. Okay, so I just go over. In fact, I normally do the body first, and I've forgotten that. I'll do this top layer and then I'll go back. If you're not sure about colouring, how to do it, 2 choices for you, 3 choices actually. Third choice is just go your own way, do whatever you feel is right. Secondly is just to follow the black shadow type lines on here, which is what I tend to do. And the other thing is to use the blends to create the shading for you. Oh no, I mean, what am I talking about? I'm trying to concentrate and paint at the same time. It doesn't work. The other one you can do is to have a look at the designer series paper and see where they've put the shading, and that works really well. But it's like most of card making, colouring, there's no such thing as right and wrong. It's whatever you feel is right. In fact, let me do the body first. For the body I used dark smoky slate. Let me show you this design series paper again. Okay, if you have a look at the bodies, they've used black, but they've gone very light in places. And also have a look at the shading that they've done. It's always been by those black marks, but this one here, for example, it hasn't done those marks, whereas I would do. This is the one we're doing, I think. No, it's not. This one? Nope. Oh, this one. That's the one we're doing. Okay. So they've actually brought in another colour there. They've got the yellow and then they've brought in a, I think that's Calypso Coral. Okay, so the body, just make sure you don't block his eyes in. And some of the bodies are shaped. I've never seen such detailed butterflies. So that's the body. Now I'm going to do my Bermuda Bay, and I am just going over where these dark lines are. There's a little bit there, bit there. Quite a lot of black marks here. There's a little bit down by the body here. Go back the other way. As you know, my kind of colouring has always been quick and dirty. But the blends have made the quick and dirty a lot better. There we go. Let me bring that up to you. Okay. Don't know if you can see that well enough, can you? Trying to get my light to come down a bit. Wants to just spring back again. So once I've done that, then I will go back. In fact, I would do one colour on all of these, and then the next colour and the next. So that by the time I'd finished, this would be nice and dry, because you should leave this to dry before you try blending. Okay, quite easy. I always find colouring just so relaxing. There we go. So if I die cut those out, because I can always colour them once they're die cut. And that one, what do I need? That's for the butterflies. And I'm using the stitched rectangles, and I'm using number 1 for the sentiment. And that's the one that I bought a bit of wax paper over for. This is the one that I used on the other one, the other label, when I die cut that. Right, let's bring my big shot over. Move my glass of water out of the way. I'll come back to the sentiment in a moment. Right, make sure I've got that the right way, yep. One thing that I would say about the stamp set is I had a fight to get the cling label onto it, and I did it differently to the way I normally do them, as in I left the label on the big sheet, just took the backing off and then put the stamp on top, but made a bit of a mess of it, and it has kind of curled my, or not curled, but bent my stamp slightly, and obviously it has affected the way my stamps die, which is part of the reason why I'm more than happy to get another stamp set, so that the one with this stamp set I can actually cut separately and the pull won't be so great. And the one that I'm going to keep as whole, I'm not going to put the label on it this time. Right, I'll just see how easy that has die cut. Isn't that beautiful? And what you could do, you could stamp several of these and just put them away until you need them. Let's keep that one out, I might use it. Okay, so brilliant, absolutely superb that. Right, so that's that one. I will rescue my bits after, once I tidy up after the video. So there's that one. Now I need to do this. There we go. Oh, no. There's me going on about using wax paper, and I forget. Obviously it makes the die slide a bit. I don't think that's quite straight, is it? I would like to have my camera set up so that I could actually stand up to do my stamping and my die cutting. I do spend a lot of my time when I am crafting standing up. Right, there we go. Now, if I can show you that and that, have a look at that little corner there. That's why I've just used the wax paper on this one. Okay, you check out the corners on the one that's just had the wax paper on. Okay, so if you ever find that yours happens like the black sentiment there on the card, just use some wax paper. As you can see, it works brilliantly. Right, that's all I need the big shot for. Excuse me, I need to just wipe my nose. Right, okay. So let's start. Let's build this part of our card first. So I need that, that and that. I bought myself a new Tombow over. The one I'm using at the moment is getting a little bit frustrating, to say the least. In fact, one of these days what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out how long a bottle actually lasts me. I have absolutely no idea. There we go. Weeks like this week, for example, I've spent a lot of time making loads and loads of thank you cards. The first batch were for my February customers, and then the next batch are for people who request catalogues, new people, or if somebody buys something from my Aladdin's Cave. If you don't know what my Aladdin's Cave is, it's on my website, and it's most of my retired Stampin' Up products that I'm selling. You can't buy them from there, you have to email me. I'm not savvy enough to be able to set it up as an actual shop. Now on this one I'm going to copy the design I have here, although I might change my butterfly. Let's try a smaller butterfly. Let's have this one, I think. What else have I got here? Oh, that's a nice one. I wonder if that'll be too small. Right, let's put this onto here. Right, this I'm going to pop on dimensionals, so I'll do that later. I better do that later as well. That little butterfly there and that little one there I have fussy cut from one of the sheets of one of the designs of the paper over there. I think this is that the one? No, it is. Oh, this is the one. It's that design there. I fussy cut 2 of these. If you ever decide to do that, it's always the antenna that are difficult. So all I've done is up and round. I haven't tried doing a little bobble bit on the end where there is a stamped bobble. That was just too much like hard work. And I enjoy fussy cutting. So let's put that aside. Let's bring in this one now. Let's work on this. Right, I need to bring my trimmer up. Push that over there. Right, okay. Now first of all, with your piece of white cardstock that is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, this one. Yep, that's right. You need to cut this in half from corner to corner. So just line the points up in the cutting track, then hold it steady. And then just slice that. Now we've got a template for the previous week, so we need to write on this one the measurements of this, 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and then when we decide to go back, then we'll know whichever card we want to use. We'll know what template to use. I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't do the card today that we're making today using last week's, 2 weeks ago, the template from there. Oh, come back, I haven't used you yet. There's a spare one as well. Right. That's all. No, that's not all I need. Now, we need to score down here. Now, if you saw my video where I did that other pop-up card, the corner pop-up card, you will know I said to score there, and it won't come through the other side, but it does. It did in the video, but I didn't rely on that because I hadn't come across that before, and I didn't want it if I'd relied on it and folded it and it hadn't gone very well, I would not have been very happy. But I tried it on the card that I've made for today and it worked beautifully. So what I'm going to do is I'm putting my template on there, my pencil. Now what you could do, you don't need to make a template, you could just measure 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches, and with the template last week it was 2.5 inches and I think it was something like 3 3/4, so you could just measure those and then line them up in here. Right, so I'm going to line that pencil mark and that pencil mark up in my cutting track again. Make sure my blade is out of the way because I'm going to use the score tool for this. And again, make sure you've got hold of it, oops, nice and firmly. Don't knock it out of your way like that. Goodness sake, what are you doing? I think it's these funny fingernails I've got on. Keep catching. Right, okay. Now, I'm going to try that. And, because I'm not confident with it, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go a few times, not too much because I don't want to cut my cardstock. But there we go. You see that on the back there? If I remember, yes, yeah. If you remember rightly, I did show you last week as well, I believe. So that's all I need the trimmer for. So what I'm going to do now is very careful. Oh no, I'm going to remove my pencil marks. Mind you, this is on the, this will be adhered on the inside, won't it? So that wouldn't matter really. So what I'm going to do is very gently fold that and fold that. I'm not going to fold it right the way back, but I'm going to open this up, and like we did 2 weeks ago, I'm going to push that in, and we are going to encourage this to bend, and we are going to encourage this to bend, and when we're happy we are going to push it right together and then squeeze it. And that looks as if it's gone better than it did 2 weeks ago. So give that one a nice burnish, and then give that a good burnish. Okay, so this is our pop-up. First of all, I'm going to put my designer series paper in. Now, as oh no, I'm not going to cut it first. Yes, I do need my trimmer again. When I did the other card, I didn't put my white layer here, which is the way I like to do my layers, like this one, because it's really quite thick, and this one is obviously thicker than the red card I've made because it's putting 2 cards together. Right, those are the 2 designs I want. So to bring my trimmer back again. Now on this one, I want this to go on this side, so I need to cut this corner off, and I'm going to get my template back again. Here we are. I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to mark with my pencil. The advantage of using a template rather than just measuring, you could find that with your measuring you could be a tad out, and it might be a tad that makes a difference. Right, so I'm going to line these 2 pencil marks up in my trimmer. And then when I'm happy that I'm holding it nice and firm, I'm going to cut that off. Okay, that wasn't very good actually. I think that'll be alright. I missed that, did you see? I see my pencil mark. Never mind. Now with this piece, it's going to be too big for this corner here, so we need to slice some off. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to slice off 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's that one. Now for the other one, I want it to go on this side, so I need to take this corner off. So I'm just, because this is 2.5 by 2.5, it doesn't really matter, but if it was last week's size, where one side was a lot longer, if you tip it over for the other side, okay, just in case you've decided to make your card the same size as we did 2 weeks ago. Right, mark that with my pencil. That's not quite as easy to see, and if I miss it when I can see it, don't stand a chance, do I? Right, that's there. Right, okay. Line those 2 up. Slice those off. That's better, got that. So now I'm putting this one back in and cutting 1/4 inch off. There we go. I think that's all we need our trimmer for. So let's start putting this card together. Use my silicone mat so that my work surface doesn't get all sticky. And my tweezers. that straight? I think so, yep. And then this one into the corner. On that first card that I'd made, on the left hand side, which is the side that I'm working on now, I did plan to put an extra couple of butterflies there, and I rested them on there and I showed hubby. Oops, oops, oops. And he said no, it's overdoing it, it's too many. So I might show you what it looks like, then you can decide for yourself what you think. Right, so this one now, let me remove the evidence that I did it wrong. I could actually just slice that correctly, but then it would make the triangle bit wrong. Isn't that a nice design there? I like that. Oops. No, you're not using it. There we go. Oops, just trying to get it so it matches up with the opposite side. Yes. Oh, I think so. I think that's all right. And now this one. At least by not cutting the triangle bit, it's the same amount out as the main bit, and therefore be less noticeable. Does that make sense? There we go. Lovely. So I'm pleased with that. Now I am going to decide on my design, and I'm going to copy what I've done here, apart from the two fussy cutting bits. So I need a medium-sized butterfly. These are slightly different colours, I think. The first batch that I did, I used more than just the two colours. It was by doing those that I decided which ones I did like and which ones I didn't. That's not the one. This is. That's the one that I've got there. I think that's just too big. Do you reckon that's too big? Oh, just a bit, look. That's it. You see, just coming over the edges there. It's a shame. Can you take it down a bit? Yes, you could. Because what I've done here, you see that those two are overlapping. In fact, that's overlapping as well. But this, I would have thought, was going to knock as I went inwards. But they don't, they avoid each other. So I'm going to try this big fancy one. Okay. The only thing, two things you remember. One is that that doesn't come over the edge here. Although you do have an 1/8 of an inch, because that one's going to be going there. So a tad wouldn't matter. And the other thing is, don't let these bottom bits come over the fold. So I've got to go up like that. So let me just double check that again. Bring that over. There we go, that's fine. So I'm just going to draw a little line underneath there, so I know where that's got to go. And how high is that? From there to there. Okay, I'm just eyeballing this. I got it wrong on the other one, but I was able to remove the glue. go. So I've only done that little bit down at the bottom. Yep, you can see that. And that's my pencil mark, so I'm putting the bottom of his wing, or her wing, whoever, on there. And I can't see any glue coming through. Nope, that's fine. Okay, so there's that one. That's a big butterfly to come flying out at you, isn't it? Okay, so the next one I did was a little one. In fact, these two are the same sizes. So let's do the little one first. Again, can I use a bigger one? Let's have a look. No, I don't think I can I? No, that's going to get too scrunched up. Let's go for the little one. That one, okay. So I'm doing this just the same as I did that one, and I'm only doing the narrow bit of his wings here. So that's that one. There was quite a lot of glue on that. There we go, that's alright. And now, what was the other one? The other one was the same size as that. Do I need to stick to that? Oh yes, I do, don't I? Yes, definitely. Okay, so we'll have this one. Which one did I do? Did that one, didn't I? So let's have the different one. And see if we can get it to go on there. It's not going to go, is it? Not unless I tip him upside down. I don't think that's a very nice thing to do. No. In fact, by using that very big one, I can't get a second one in there. But that's okay. I think this is compensated by the fact that this is so big. Alright, I'm going to leave that like that. Now, I've got my piece of Bermuda Bay. Is that Bermuda Bay? No, that's Coastal Cabana. See how confused I get? That's Coastal Cabana as well. Well, not to worry, it all goes together. Right. You see, there does come a time sometimes when you're doing your card making and you make a mistake, say something like this, where it really isn't big enough to worry about, unless you're a perfectionist, which I'm obviously not. There we go, that's good. Now this, obviously you could put it this side or you could put it this side. Now let me show you. This is what I was saying about having, in fact let me show you with this one before I do this. This is the one that I showed hubby, and I had some of the other coloured butterflies and that one, and I put a couple down like that, and he said no, it looks too much. What do you think? Is that too much? The spare space is still there, so I could always go back and put more on. So let's finish this one. Do I want that side? No, I'm going to keep it this side in case I do decide to go back and put more butterflies on it. They would look better on the spotty one than they would this motley one. Okay, so that, I'm just trying to get it so that that gap there is the same as that gap, but it mustn't come past that fold there. Okay, so that's alright. So let's put it inside our card. Make sure you've got the card the right way round. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put my glue on here. and I'm going to pay particular attention down this bit here. Oh, that's not got very much glue. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try and make these even, but most important is getting that fold into that fold there. So what I'm going to do first, put it near that fold, and then I'm checking the gap there, the gap down here, that gap, and then I am going to quickly close that to make sure that goes in correctly. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to do this side. Again, I'm going to pay particular attention to the folded bit here. And I'm just going to fold that one over. Okay, so that is our card. Isn't that beautiful? I'm really pleased with that. Now I'm not going to stop and do fussy cutting for my butterflies. I'm just wondering if I could put one there. I think that looks nice. Is that the same or different? I think that's different, isn't it? Okay, so let's just pop him on the corner. This is obviously the bit for writing your sentiment. If you don't think it's big enough, then I would put a bigger piece on the back to write, or in fact I would probably write on the colour there. So there's that one, and then on here I said I wanted a smaller butterfly, didn't I? Oh, this one. So I'm folding the back, the body, so I've got a flat bit there. Then I'm going to put some tombow on the back. Then I'm going to get that, see where I want that to go. And about there, I think. That was a mistake with that colour there, but I think it's okay. It's all blending in quite nicely. Okay, so that's that. This I am going to use, if I can find my box of adhesives, I'm going to use my dimensional sheet. Oops, I use my non-stick scissors. Put that on there. And with the aid of my tweezers, just mark a little bit there, and I know I've got to cut shorter. And the last time I cut something off of here was for my other card, so I know that the height is okay. Don't need to measure that. And I'm just going to cut this a bit shorter. Save that. Let me hold that up. There we go. And take that bit off. Whoops. And that one. And I bought a ruler with me. Oh, I've got the lines on here. Don't need a ruler. So where do we want it? About there? That's it. There we go. So I could actually put another butterfly on this one, couldn't I? I take a small one, fold one part of his body and another part. That's not folding very well. Come on, don't be difficult. That would look nice, wouldn't it? You agree with me? There we go. Just got big ones left now, haven't I? Although that's quite a smallish one, but I think that'll be too much now. Yes, it will be. Well, there we go. That's today's card. What do you think? I hope you like it. I hope you're going to give it a try. And I also hope that you'll get the bundle as well. It really is absolutely terrific. I don't think I pushed those down, did I? Never mind. Try and remember to burnish your folds on your pop-up. I didn't, I forgot. So there we go, that's today's card. And there's that one as well. I hope you like them, hope you give them a try. If you have any questions or comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. In the box below the video will also be the inches for people who use A4 cardstock, inches for people who use the North American size paper, and also metric for the A4 users. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the bottom right hand corner and then click on the bell. The bell will make sure that you get the notifications. As I said earlier, today is the last day of celebration, 28th February 2021. If you do have your eyes on any of the free gifts available for a qualified order, please make sure you get your order in before the end of the day. If you're in the UK, that actually means before 11 PM tonight, because talking about the end of the day, we talk European, not UK, and Europe is an hour in front of us, so don't make the mistake leaving it too late and missing out. Okay, many thanks for joining you today. Please take care, stay safe. I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy crafting. Cheerio.